Have you ever found yourself struggling with something, unsure of how to make progress? Maybe it's a skill you're trying to learn, or perhaps a task that just feels too overwhelming. Well, here's the thing. Growth, real growth, doesn't come from taking it easy. It comes from going all in. Let me explain. You know, when we think about learning something new, anything really, most people imagine it should be easy, right? A few steps here and there, some practice, and boom, we've got it down. But that's not how it works. In fact, if you want to master something, you need to totally immerse yourself in it. Like, drown in it. Dive in so deep that it becomes a part of you. I know. It sounds intense. And let's be honest. No one really loves that feeling of, this is way harder than I thought. But here's the kicker. That difficulty, that's a sign you're on the right track. If things are easy, you're probably not growing. But when things get challenging, when your brain starts to hurt a little, you know you're getting somewhere. Think of it like this. Imagine you're trying to get better at something. Maybe even something you didn't like at first. Now, instead of just practicing for a few minutes here and there, what if you spent a whole week just focusing on it? Not just a little time. Like, all your free time. If you did that, what would happen? You'd get better, right? I mean, how could you not? Let's take learning English, for example. You might be thinking, I can't understand anything when people speak fast, and I'm terrible at it. But here's the secret, immersion. If you dedicated just 1 week, just one, to nothing but listening to English constantly, your brain would get used to the sounds, the rhythm, the way words flow together. You wouldn't need to understand every single word at first. Heck, you wouldn't even need to get the full sentence. Just listening, over and over, and your brain starts to piece it together. Pretty soon, you'll find yourself picking out words you couldn't hear before. And before you know it, you'll understand more than you thought possible. Now, I know what you're thinking. That sounds great, but what if I don't like the thing I'm trying to learn? Well, that's where things get interesting. You see, when you first try something, it's totally normal to hate it. Why? Because it's hard. And when something's hard, it's frustrating. But here's the thing. When you push through that frustration and stick with it, something amazing happens. You start to improve. And once you start improving, you start to see the fun in it. That's when you begin to like it. It's kind of like the guitar. If you picked up a guitar for the first time, chances are you'd sound awful. Your fingers would hurt, the strings wouldn't sound right, and it would feel like you're just making noise. But if you stuck with it, practiced every day, immersed yourself in it eventually, you'd get to the point where you're playing songs. And not just playing them, but feeling them. Then suddenly, you're the person at the party, strumming away, and people are saying, "Wow, you're amazing." And what started as something you hated, well, now it's something you can't imagine living without. This immersion thing works with everything. Let's say you want to get better at writing. Maybe you sit down to write, and after a couple of sentences, your brain goes blank. It's normal, right? But here's where total immersion comes in. What if you dedicated a full week to writing? Every free moment, write something. It could be random thoughts, journal entries, essays, whatever. Just write. After a week, your brain starts to think in words, in sentences. The ideas begin to flow. Before long, writing becomes something you do without even thinking about it. And it doesn't just work with writing or learning languages. It works with anything. Whether it's improving your cooking skills, learning how to play a sport, or even mastering a hobby. The key is to immerse yourself fully. Shut out distractions, put your phone down, and dive into it. The more you do this, the better you get. The better you get, the more you enjoy it. And soon, it's not even about the task anymore. It's about the feeling of growth, of getting better, of becoming the person who can handle the challenge. Let's break it down. Take 1 week, just 1 week, to focus intensely on something you want to improve. It's not about being perfect. It's about the effort. Go all in. Every minute you can, focus on getting better at whatever you're working on. And when the week is over, don't just pat yourself on the back. Look at how far you've come. Then, if you feel like it, take a little break. But don't lose the momentum. The idea is simple. Immersion equals progress. You put in the work, the focus, the energy, and you will see results. So, what are you waiting for? Find something, dive in, and see how much you can grow in just 1 week. You might be amazed at what happens next. And remember, if you don't feel like doing it today, that's okay. But just know, the people who succeed are the ones who push through when it's tough. So, the next time you feel like giving up or telling yourself, "I'm not good enough," just think about the power of total immersion. Get out there and start the journey. Good luck, and I'll see you next time.